Good evening, I'm Chevy Chase, and you're not even halfway through the show. As you may recall, I was the original anchor on Weekend Update. It was back a long time ago. I mean, I was back when the only person in Betty Ford was Jerry. But, you know, really never anticipated that I would be forever known as the guy who did Update the best ever in the world.
Wait a second, babe. You only did one season. I did 6. I mean, you might have knocked her up, but I married her. I spent more time behind this desk than Kubrick did in the edit bay, spanking at the dailies from Eyes Wide Shut.
Hey guys, man, I was just sitting at home watching the TV there.
Yeah.
And like, is there something going on here tonight?
Norm, it's the 25th anniversary. Didn't you get the invitation?
Oh yeah, the invitation. Yes, I got it. I got it in the mail. Right? It was the one where they invited me.
Little one, you've been away so long, and I need you now more than forever.
Yeah.
Hey, anyway, guys, I gotta go. I gotta go to this party. There's a huge party over at Eddie Murphy's, and it's supposed to be pretty cool. He's making fun of the show. So,
Oh, that's great, Norm. Which show, yours or this one?
No, this one.
Anyway, we're here to introduce some update features, so let's take a look back, won't you? The funny thing, I really only created Weekend Update so I could work without wearing my pants.
Washington Post. Large Joe, I think you stuck your hand in front of them. So we are on. Just don't go in front of the camera.
What?
You want to be seen doing this?
This is Norm Macdonald. Norm.
Say what? Wait, Norm, say one more time.
Do you want to be seen doing this?
No, and I'm not. Until I was. Can
This
we
is
start over?
live.
Can
No,
we
no,
start-
we can't. It's live. You can't start over. So I'm Jeff Edgers. I'm the national arts reporter at the Washington Post. We are backstage. This is what happens behind the scenes when an author
That's what I told you.
is signing his books. Norm,
Yes, sir.
you're Norm Macdonald.
Yes, I'm Norm Macdonald. I used to be on the TV, but
Well,
now
you still are on
I'm
TV.
an author.
Norm has written this book, Norm Macdonald, based on a true story, a memoir. How would you describe this book?
It's a book that it's a book that instead of facts, I used truth.
Is that a good? Do you think people will understand that?
No,
the
they
general-
might not understand that.
Yeah?
It's partly fact and partly fiction, as Chris Gustafson would say.
And what are you doing right now?
Now
it's
I'm
very
doing
mechanical.
This, yes, the thing that this is not my idea. I'm signing my name on a bunch of books. The problem is later people will want me to write something to them. You know, like you say this is Steve, your best friend ever, stuff like that. I got a lot of that.
But you feel like this is saving a lot of time.
No, I don't. I'm just doing what I'm told, like some kind of monkey, you know, with an organ.
So Norm, this book is there are many things we could say about this book, but it details your time on Saturday Night Live, right?
That's right. It
You
details
were-
my time on Saturday Night Live.
It talks about your celebrity friendships.
Yes, I've friends with lots of celebrities. I make it a point to have no non-celebrity friends.
Adam Sandler, he's in there, right?
Yeah, I realize that people that aren't celebrities are worthless.
Through the writing of this book, or
Through the
just
writing
through
of
life?
this book, yeah, I started thinking about people, started thinking about my life, and I said, geez, you know, my mom and dad, what's so big about them? Nobody ever heard of them. But Sherry O'Terry, it's a different story.
So, Thank you. We've been waiting for that. I hadn't asked my Sherry O'Terry question yet. I may not. So, and this book, so how much of this book,
Now, I'm
says-
being helped to doing this, by the way, so people know. Oh, or who's seen on this?
well, she can't, I don't think we can see her because she does not want to be on film, but it's a
Why
qualified,
witches? It's ridiculous.
how would you like to describe?
I'm
You're our host, aren't you? Katie? What's your name?
Jackie.
Sorry, Jackie. I apologize. Her name's Jackie. The reason I don't remember is she's not famous.
So this book, how much, it's based on a true story. Is there a percentage you'd say that is true?
Well, it's all true. It's all true, but you know, it's not factual. Like Jeff here deals with journalism, where it's facts. So he's a man who deals in facts. But I'm not.
But the distinction is sometimes you can have something that's factually correct, but is actually untrue,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Like, for example,
Everything you write. No, yes, you know that fact could be bent to any shape to convince anyone of anything, and truth is a whole different matter. Truth has no agenda.
so this book was written by, you had a ghostwriter, right?
Yes, and a ghostwriter named Terrence Keane.
And is he here tonight?
Terrence Keane is here tonight.
Okay. And you get into all the episodes that you talk about.
I may as well whatever.
What?
I don't want to spoil part of the book, so we won't talk about Terrence Keane anymore.
And
He'll be here tonight in spirit.
so one thing that's important is tonight we're actually going to carry this event live at 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock? Yeah?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock
7 o'clock.
on Facebook.
Facebook Live, Washington Post. We're going to carry Norm's reading and question and answer session over at 6 and I, which we're just so lucky to be here. But we have a big crowd. But if you couldn't be here, you couldn't be in town, you're going to get to experience Norm live. So, anything else?
We have a question from Jason Schleicher. What is your favorite choice in cheese?
Where is Jason?
That's a Monty Python sketch. My favorite choice in cheese, I'll go out on a limb and say cheddar. Cheddar cheese. Maybe not the most popular of cheeses, but I like it.
Where are these questions coming from?
From our Washington Post audience on
Oh,
Facebook.
great.
Oh,
That's
wonderful.
exciting.
Well, they certainly
Yeah.
seem well read.
Do you have any other questions?
Lena said, "What are you doing? Signing books?" Right?
Yes. And there's no other answer except yes for that. Unless I wasn't doing it, and then my answer would be no. Anything else?
What's your favorite OJ joke from Ryan Policinski?
Oh, my favorite OJ joke was one time they showed his, Johnny Cochran, his lawyer, put on his hat, put on OJ's hat in court, and then my joke was OJ didn't help his cause any when he jumped out and yelled, "Hey, hey, hey! Easy with that. That's my favorite stabbing hat."
That's good.
We have a
I think
question.
it's
He didn't
actually,
help his cause any.
I think it's lucky stabbing.
Lucky. Yeah, it is.
We have a question from Jace.
That's my lucky stabbing hat.
We have a question from Jace. Will you be upset if you get a statue made out of you like Gordon Lightfoot?
They made a statue of Gordon Lightfoot? Were you aware of that? Would I be upset? Well, Gordon Lightfoot, I hope they made a statue of him from when he was a young man. But I'm a huge Gordon Lightfoot fan, so no, I would be honored by that.
And Paul David Kushner asks, "How is it working with Mike Tyson?"
Well, I've never met Mike Tyson. We were just talking about that,
Yeah.
Jeff and I, that Mike Tyson had a funny line that he said, I don't know, Norm Macdonald, because he says, people keep coming up to me, asking me, I can't do Mike Tyson, obviously. So he said, everywhere I go, people say, hey, you work with Norm Macdonald, you work with Norm Macdonald. I never met Norm Macdonald, I don't know Norm Macdonald. I don't know Norm Macdonald from a can of paint. The only thing I know about Norm Macdonald is he's very famous. So I thought that was like Yogi Berra, you know. I don't know Norm Macdonald, but I know he's very famous.
And Tony
But
Burkhart.
yeah, he does all his parts. This is a show called Mike Tyson Mysteries, in which I play one of his pigeons, and I do my parts from a recording studio. He does his parts from his giant mansion in Las Vegas. So, but I might go there and interview him for my podcast.
That'd be nice. That'd be a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd be a fun guest. I very much like Mike Tyson.
That's worth noting. You've restarted the video podcast. You
Oh,
did
yes.
one with Stephen Merchant. Do you have more that are already recorded?
Yes, in the can.
In the
I have
can,
some
yeah.
In the can.
Who's on them? Can we?
Who's in? Who do I have that's
Can
in
we
the
give any-
can?
Yeah. Who's in the can?
A boy named Bobby Lee
Yeah.
is one of the new faces. You know, the future of comedy. Margaret Cho. Not exactly the future of comedy, but she now hosts Fashion Police. And a delightfully funny man. I didn't know how funny he was, but he was hysterically funny. One of the best episodes we've done was with Bill Hader.
Bill Hader.
Yes, the
Yeah.
impressionist from Saturday Night Live, but much more than an impressionist.
Yeah.
Fascinating guy. He, I first met him, I was in Boston, and I was just in a hotel, and he was there with Trey Parker and Matt Stone, the creators of South Park. I said, what are you guys doing? Well, they were writing South Park. So I said, Bill, you write South Park? Like he was on Saturday Night Live. So it was very strange to me that he also wrote South Park. I go, so you wrote South Park first and then you just continued? He goes, no, I wrote South Park after. So he said he loved South Park so much, and the structure of it was so good, he wanted to learn structure so he could write a movie. And he went to these guys and asked if he could do it. And he also did the same thing with Pixar. He wanted to learn how to write for that kind of movie because he had an idea. So he went to Pixar. He said, I'm Bill Hader. I do Stefan on Saturday Night Live. Perhaps you've seen me. And so it was really cool. He wants to learn things. So that's how he does it. For free, he goes,
It's like an apprenticeship.
yes.
Except that he's famous.
It's like, yeah, it's like auditing.
Yeah.
Things. Well, I remember David Geffen said, like when he first came to Hollywood, he would have lunch with a different guy every day. And, within a few months, he'd had lunch with everybody. Everybody wants to have lunch.
So, do we have any more questions?
We got one last question. What's your special guest? Your
I
favorite
didn't know
special
there was
guest on
one last
SNL?
question.
Yeah.
Well, there might be more, but maybe for this section.
You're gonna
For this
resume.
session,
Oh,
Yeah.
what was the question?
Who was your favorite special guest on SNL? From David Wynn.
Special guest.
Yeah.
You mean like a guest host?
Yeah, guest
Like
host.
a host.
Yeah.
Like a host.
Yeah.
A guest host is like the Tonight Show.
Yeah.
With Johnny Carson. My favorite host was Bob Newhart because Lauren would always ask who we wanted as a host. And people would say people that I didn't know because I don't know new things. And very often, like the first episode I was ever on, the musical guest was, I still can't remember.
Nirvana?
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
I just incredible memory. No, I just guessed because it was your first episode was probably like 93.
Right, yes, it was
Yeah.
Nirvana.
He researched.
Yeah.
So it was Nirvana, which
Yeah.
we somehow knew. So I didn't know. Other people were like, "Oh, Nirvana," and I didn't even watch them. And then they were no more, and because Kurt Cobain was no more, and Kurt. And so my favorite. So Lauren would always ask guests, and people would always pick young hip guys, and I would say Bob Newhart. Everybody, Bob Newhart. Let's get Bob Newhart. It's fun that we got Bob Newhart. I wrote a sketch for Bob Newhart, and he used it in his. He asked me, "Can I use that in my stand-up?" He used my thing I wrote in stand-up because Bob Newhart does like one-way conversations, and so my sketch I wrote for him was, one-way conversation that he was a postal supervisor, and he was talking to a disgruntled employee at the post office, and that was the idea of it. And he really liked it. And he did it in his act, and it was one of the high points of my life.
Was there a joke in that one? Do you remember? I mean,
Well, the joke
I know there was a joke in that one, but is there a joke you remember in that one?
Well, Bob Newhart would go. Bob Newhart would go like, I'm reading your report, Mr. Henshaw, and I can't help but notice that when we asked how you would describe yourself in one word, you said you said disgruntled. That's a kind of a red flag here at the post office. Now, when we asked you what the worst part of your job was, you said working beside the devil. Now, I looked at the records, and you worked beside Bill Waterston, and I've known him 30 years, and no, I'm not calling your dog a liar. I'm just saying.
What an honor, though, huh?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so thrilled.
All right, so
Having a childhood hero read my. Here's an interesting story too.
oh, I'm sorry.
Sort of.
We
Oh,
were going to
no
go
time.
a little more, right?
Well, I was just going to say I met Don Adams one time, the great Don Adams, who played Maxwell Smart on Get Smart. And Don Adams told me that he was working in Chicago, and he lost all his money in a craps game. And that night, Bob Newhart, a young unknown man, Bob Newhart handed him this material to read, and he read it, and he said, "This is fantastic material, but I have no money. I can't pay you." And so that was what Don Adams told me. Then later, I told the story. I recounted the story to Bob Newhart, and he said, "That's what he told you, huh?" And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "Well," he goes, "this is what really happened. He goes, the first part was true. I showed him the material, and then three weeks later, I watched him do it on the Mike Douglas show."
No.
That's good. I like it. All right, so obviously tonight many Don Adams stories, right? But this book is really. I'm saying this genuinely. This is a very, very, very good book. Very special book.
Oh, thank you.
And
I know you
it's,
called it special, which is very nice.
well, it's wildly creative and entertaining, and it's great. You know, I mean, but I'm not a book critic. You'll have to understand that. I actually can barely read, but it's a great book. You should come and hear Norm, and also pick up a book. You know, he pre-signed it for you.
Yes. And if you can't come in person, you can order the book on Amazon.com, or you can go to your local bookstore and support your local.
But you're going to sign books tonight after you're done, right?
Yes, I'm going to sign
So
books.
there'll be double signed.
Absolutely,
All right,
yeah.
thanks, and we'll see you back here.
Yeah, 7 o'clock, Washington Post.
Yesterday night, like, because I'm trying to get into fitness. So for the past 2 days, like, I was doing those weights and all that stuff. So then I was like, yeah, I'm going to run. And then I looked on the computer about running, and they said barefoot running was good.
Yep.
So I barefoot ran on this sidewalk, and then I cut my foot. And then I had to walk back like a half a mile with a cut foot, so now my foot's all weird.
Yeah, that doesn't. They are saying that barefoot running is the way to go. In fact, they have these ridiculous shoes that protect the bottom of your foot, but each individual toe. But I've thought that often. If you're a man of from the Western world, your feet are not exposed that much to rocks and glass. It's not like in Kenya where they run for
That's what Steve was
30
saying.
miles. Yeah. So we're very susceptible to what is on the ground. You could end up with tetanus. You could step on something infected with something. My suggestion to you would be to run with shoes.
That's what Steve's worried about, because I just put some water on it, but my feet are still
water.
My feet are still filthy.
Oh, yeah?
Like the bottom of them look like homeless guys' feet.
Oh, really? Now, have you bathed since the run?
I like soaked it, but like it's the black that it's deep, that black whatever.
Like
it is.
tar and asphalt.
It's like dug into your skin now.
Yeah.
So you're getting very much into fitness because we taught you. By the way, you were great when we talked to you on the phone. Unfortunately, the guy producing it didn't have your voice in any of it, so we couldn't play it.
Really?
Yeah, but you were. But so if any of this seems redundant, I apologize. I'm sorry that you had to get up to do that. Norm Macdonald, by the way, 2 shows tonight at the Wilbur Theater. You can get tickets at thewilbur.com or call Ticketmaster at 1-800-745-3000. So since when and why has exercise become this passion of yours?
3 days ago.
Yeah. Like what occurred to you where you're like, you know what, I need to start running outside and lifting weights and researching this stuff?
Well, I had these weights that somebody gave to me a long time ago, and so I was lifting those for a couple days. I was starting to feel really good. Then I went for a swim, and then that was like the night before last, and I was like, yeah, everything's going to be different now. It was horrible. So you're working out now and stuff, right?
Yeah, how about you?
I worked out a couple times. I liked it when I was young. I didn't have, you didn't have to work out. You were just in good shape.
all
you know
the
what I'm
time,
saying?
Yeah.
And I was in my best shape back then. I think I was seriously, when I was like, when I was 1. That's when
Reached your peak when you were 1.
my God, I look great. You wouldn't know me now. You see me back then. I was young and fresh.
I can imagine.
Even for my age, people would come up to me and go, what, are you 0?
I don't work out. I'm a weak man. You know that, Dennis.
Well, listen, you and I were on the Mount Olympus of weakness.
And not just physically.
Oh, no, in every way.
In every single way. So, I told the guy that, and he said he couldn't do anything except for the physical part. But I don't know if he was the best trainer or anything. He was smoking a butt the whole time.
No, that's not good.
That's just a joke. He was a big guy, and but I told him, I said, look, I don't want be big like you. I don't want veins. I have no use for that in my arms. Or abs. I don't want abs. I don't even know quite what they are. All I know is they were invented around the 80s. And I don't even know what you do when you get them. You know what I mean? Because you got to wear a shirt. You just go to work and go, hey, you want to see these things on my belly? Everybody's like, no. But so I told the guy, I said, I'm here for one reason and one reason only. I want to have one hot ass.
Now, folks, I don't like to brag, but like Schwarzenegger, I did a little bodybuilding back in the day, too. But I'm guessing you guys wouldn't want to see that, though, would you? Okay, all right, sure. Let's hope that doesn't live on the YouTube forever, long after I'm dead, out of context.
Some days we get closer. Things that we never really needed. Promises that we never thought of keeping safe. I guess it's never over if we never got a chance.
I never worked out or anything like that because, I always felt like, you can't, like if you're a dude, you can't really, the ladies don't seem to care, at least that's what they say. And then also, I don't think you can get like a perfect body. I think if you're a lady, you can get a perfect body. But if you're a dude, I don't think you can get like a perfect body on account of you got like every dude seems to have one of those like a sack, a sack, right? And so, no matter how perfect your body is, if you got a sack, it doesn't look very good. You don't have a good-looking body, basically. No matter what. You show me any nude dude, go, hey, look at that guy's body. I go, good God, what's that fucking thing? That guy's got a sack on him. You know? It's not a good looking body. You ever see a guy with a good looking sack? You know, yeah. You ever hear a guy go, hey Bob, you know what your best feature is? Me and the guys were talking about it. Your sack. Holy Lord, that's... You doing something different with your sack lately or something? God damn, that looks good. Good looking sack you're toting around there, I'm telling you. Right? You can't work out on that or anything. You got no machine, you got no sack of steel. They're just giving up on that, man. That's why I'm surprised the fucking those plastic surgeons. Why are they working on the sack, man? Guy goes like, man, I got a little thing here, a line under my eye. I'm gonna get that taken care of. Meanwhile, huge ancient old sack hanging out. Yeah, that's my problem, man. That eye thing. That little crow's feet there, man. I get rid of them. That'll be good. Sack's old too, man. That's older than you, your sack. I don't know how that works out. You know what I mean? You have a dude like 25, his sack's like 100 years old. Right? Sometimes you turn to it for advice. You ever do that? You go, what? You go, what would you do, wise old sack? You know? He's like, I tell you something, son. An old guy's sack, like old guy's sacks are really old because they're like 80. Their sacks like 400 or 500 years old. It's like a fucking old, like a tree or something. It's not like a tree, but trees are old. I read that in a book.
One quick Mitch Hedberg story. So I opened up for Mitch Hedberg like 22 years ago, and he comes up to me after the show and he goes, "Hey Artie, man, you're a fat guy." I go, that's what he said. I go, I could lose a couple, but what are you talking about? He goes, I wrote a joke that I can't do because I'm not fat, but I'll give it to you. I go, all right. He goes, you know when you're a kid and they tell you to wait a half an hour after you eat before you go swimming? And I'm like, yeah. He goes, you should say you've never been swimming because it's never been more than a half an hour since you last ate. And I go, that's a great joke. Can I can have that joke? He goes, yeah. So then he comes back and he was smoking a lot of weed. So he comes back totally serious. He goes, hey man, you're right. That is a good joke. I'll make you a deal. If I gain like 100 pounds before you do that on TV, I get the joke. I'm like, all right, whatever. So, okay. So cut to like a month later. I'm with Norm Macdonald having dinner with people. And Norm does that joke about me. He goes, hey man, it's Artie's never been swimming. It's never more than a half an hour since he last ate. I'm like, where the fuck did you hear that joke? He goes, I heard a fat guy do it at the Comedy Store. I go, really? So I see Mitch 2 weeks later. I go, Mitch, what the fuck, bro? You gave me that joke. Norm said he saw a fat guy do it at the Comedy Store. So he's all fucked up and he goes, hey, Artie, man, listen, I'm sorry. I get fucked up a lot. I forget shit. I probably gave that to a lot of fat guys.
Homework liker, who is becoming my new best friend,
yes,
says Norm carries 46 clubs in his bag. Yeah, club sandwiches.
I do like a club sandwich.
That's not an insult. That's harmless joshing.
I do like a club sandwich.
Mitch Hedberg had a great run.
Oh yes, what was it?
Like, what do you have to
join the club?
Yeah, do you have to join? What I don't even would never dare.
Okay.
Do you like sandwiches that have a toothpick in them?
Okay.
With green and red cellophane? I do too. Perhaps we should begin a club. I don't know what about that.
I order the club sandwich all the time, and I'm not even a member, man. I don't know how I get away with it. I like my sandwiches with 3 pieces of bread. So do I. Well, let's form a club. Okay. But we need some more stipulations. Yes, we do. Instead of cutting the sandwich once, let's cut it again. Yeah, 4 triangles. Yeah, and in the middle, we shall dump chips. Let me ask you a question. How you feel about frilly toothpicks? I'm for them. Well, this club is formed then. I like to take a toothpick and throw it in the forest and say, "You're home."
And he had a golf joke.
He did?
That's good.
He said, when I'm golfing, I never say four. I can't think of it in time because I'm busy saying, no way it's going to hit those guys.
I play golf. I'm not good at golf. I never got good. I never got a hole-in-one. But I did hit a guy. And that's way more satisfying. You're supposed to yell four. But I was too busy mumbling, there ain't no way that's gonna hit him. You know, when it comes to racism, people say, I don't care if they're black, white, purple, or green. Oh, hold on now. Purple or green, you gotta draw the line somewhere. To hell with purple people. Unless they're suffocating. Then help them.
And I know people, you know, hate people for all kinds of reasons, you know. Some people hate people because they're a different color, black or white or something like that. I don't care if a guy's black, what. Hey, let me tell you something. I got a thing I realized. You know when a guy's racist is when he goes, if he says something like this. He goes, I don't care if a guy's black or white or brown, yellow, blue, green, or anything. You're like, what the fuck is green? I don't care if a guy's purple. Any of those goddamn non-human colors, they're all the same to me. Purple, black, same thing to me. If the guy's a black guy or a purple guy, I treat him the same. Isn't a purple guy? That's a fucking monster from outer space. Who the hell likes those guys? You gotta kill them. You gotta kill those guys, right? Here we see the president and the first bitch. Hey, slow down, you bitch. Let me catch up. Here we see President Clinton looking for something, anything, to hug besides his wife. This week in South Africa, Winnie Mandela was removed from the new government by her husband, President Nelson Mandela. A curious Bill Clinton later called Mr. Mandela to find out how exactly you go about doing something like that. Gosh, Hillary looks pretty in this photo here, doesn't she? Never realized she was such a looker till I see her here in this picture. A frightening moment this week for First Lady Hillary Clinton. Her plane, en route to the former Soviet Union, was forced to make an emergency landing when it was discovered that a frayed wire in the engine was causing serious malfunctions. The president was said to be furious and demanded an immediate investigation of what went wrong with Operation Frayed Wire. First Lady Hillary Clinton has been out of the country this week visiting the remote region of Siberia. Said the president, quote, when the cat's away, the mice... Oh, who am I kidding? The mouse screws plenty of women even when the cat's right here. At the White House this week, President Clinton officially came out against same-sex marriages. What's more, the president said he is not too crazy about opposite-sex marriages either. Astronaut Shannon Lucid, back on Earth after a record 6 months in space, was welcomed home Tuesday with a phone call from President Clinton. Said the president, quote, this is just the beginning. One day we'll be able to send an American into space indefinitely, and I hope it's a woman. Speaking in Australia this week about the problems of being America's First Lady, Hillary Clinton joked, quote, perhaps I'll walk around with a bag over my head when I come out into public and have no opinions and never express them publicly or privately. To which the president replied, "Yes, yes, oh God, yes." As new questions arise about Hillary Clinton's role in Whitewater, the president appears to be distancing himself from the First Lady. Earlier today in his weekly radio address, the president insisted, "Hey, I sleep with hundreds of girls. I can't vouch for all of them, you know?" Though more indictments are likely in the Whitewater investigation, President Clinton is still refusing to say whether he will pardon former Whitewater associates Jim and Susan McDougal. But when asked if he would pardon First Lady Hillary Clinton, the president was crystal clear, quote, "She does the crime, she does the time." Court documents made public this week, independent counsel Kenneth Starr told a federal judge that Hillary Clinton is now a, quote, "central figure in the Whitewater criminal probe." Reacting to the news, President Clinton called the investigation a partisan witch hunt, vowing, quote, "If the First Lady is somehow convicted and has to go to jail, I will do everything in my power to wait 2 weeks to start dating." With growing indications that First Lady Hillary Clinton may be indicted for her role in Whitewater, President Clinton is reportedly starting to prepare for that possibility. Plans so far include renting a hall, hiring a band, and making a giant bathtub with margaritas. In a unanimous verdict this week, a Santa Monica jury found O.J. Simpson liable for the wrongful deaths of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman, awarding the plaintiffs damages of $8.5 million. Reacting to the verdict, Simpson insisted that he has nowhere near that amount of money and that his only remaining asset is 30 pairs of Brunei Mali shoes. The announcement of the verdict came toward the end of President Clinton's annual State of the Union address, and to many observers, completely overshadowed the event. Even the president was distracted during his speech, waiting to hear exactly how much it costs to kill your wife. Well, more O.J. Simpson news. On Friday, the Juice officially endorsed Bill Clinton for president, adding, quote, "I'd like to help him any way I can." To which the president replied, "Well, there is one thing." An American President, Rob Reiner's new film starring Michael Douglas and Annette Bening opened in theaters last week. Here with his review is Update movie critic and 42nd President of these United States, Bill Clinton.
Thank you, Norm. Thank you all.
And what did you like best about the movie?
The dead wife.
Independence Day, the science fiction fantasy starring Jeff Goldblum, Bill Pullman, and Will Smith, was not only last summer's biggest box office hit, it was a national phenomenon. Here with his review is Update movie critic and 42nd President of these United States, Bill Clinton.
Thank you. Norm, I think it deals with some of the most fundamental questions of existence. Is there intelligent life out there? Is it friendly? If not, what if it came to Earth and killed the president's wife?
I guess I never thought about that, Mr. President.
I have. Every day of my life.
Last week, the president vetoed a Republican bill to balance the budget, and he used a pen that belonged to former President Lyndon Johnson. Clinton has also been working his way through John F. Kennedy's vast supply of condoms. Well, more bad news for Bill Clinton. This week, an appellate court ruled that Paula Jones can proceed with her sexual harassment suit against the president. Jones' suit is based on a 1991 hotel room encounter during which she alleges that then-Governor Clinton dropped his pants and exposed himself. She is seeking $700,000 in damages, $100,000 for trauma after seeing the governor's penis, and $300,000 for each thigh. Well, Chelsea Clinton turned 16 a few weeks ago, and apparently her father has been teaching her to drive. Early reports say that under the president's tutelage, the first daughter has become exceptionally good at cruising for chicks. A Connecticut hotel where Bill Clinton spent the night has donated to a charity auction a bagel the president ordered from room service but never ate. Though potential bidders should be advised, while the president never actually ate the bagel, he did have, quote, relations with it. Sounds delicious. This week, President Clinton made history when he nominated Madeleine Albright to be first female Secretary of State. Responding to critics who say that she is not the best choice, the president insisted, quote, she looks a lot better after a couple of drinks. This week, in arguments before the Supreme Court, lawyers for President Clinton asked that the sexual harassment suit brought by Paula Jones be delayed until he leaves office. According to Clinton's attorney, quote, if the president were hauled into court every time some nut accused him of sexual harassment, he'd have no time to scare up tail. He likes scaring up the tail. Okay. More bad news for the president. This week, convicted Whitewater swindler James McDougal claimed that his ex-wife, Susan McDougal, had an affair with Clinton while he was governor of Arkansas. The president denied the charges, adding, quote, if you really knew me, you'd know that I was always faithful to Jennifer Flowers. In a startling reversal, Kenneth Starr announced yesterday that he would not resign as Whitewater special prosecutor and that now he intends to stay on until the investigation is completed. This new development apparently did not trouble a confident President Clinton, who still plans to resume making conjugal visits to Susan McDougal. Yesterday, President Clinton underwent a 2-hour operation to repair damage to his knee, suffered in a fall while visiting in Florida at the home of professional golfer Greg Norman. Many were surprised to hear that the two were on friendly terms, since Greg Norman had once threatened that if he ever caught Clinton with his wife again, he'd smash his kneecap with a 5-iron. The White House says that surviving relatives of those who died in a 40-year-old federal study which allowed men infected with syphilis to go untreated will get an official apology from President Clinton. According to the president, quote, if not for the sacrifices of these brave men, I would not be alive today. Court-martial proceedings are set to begin Tuesday against Air Force Lieutenant Kelly Flynn, the nation's first female B-52 pilot. Flynn is accused of conducting an adulterous affair with a married man, as well as having a brief fling with a second airman, and then lying about it. An Air Force prosecutor called her, quote, a sexual predator, while her commanding officer called her a, quote, lying sex addict. Meanwhile, President Clinton called her. Well, the White House is an empty nest this week following Chelsea Clinton's departure to begin studies at Stanford University. A wistful President Clinton says that while it's difficult to see his daughter grow up, at least now he'll feel less guilty about hitting on her friends. According to Reno, there is no evidence he misused his office to raise money, improperly allowed contributors to stay overnight at the White House, or sought contributions in exchange for political favors. You know, it's hard for me to believe this, but for Janet Reno to send this letter, I guess it must be true. The president's sleeping with her, too. It's beyond comprehension, but... On Tom Snyder this week, actor Tony Danza said he thought the recent open display of affection by lesbian couple Ellen DeGeneres and Anne Hesh in front of President Clinton was extremely disrespectful. On hearing the comment, President Clinton responded, someone should tell Tony Danza to shut the hell up. Meanwhile, President Clinton was in Akron, Ohio this week, presiding at a town meeting about race relations in America. The president chose Akron as the site of the meeting, partly because it is the home of the Coming Together Project, an organized effort to end racism, and partly because it is the home of Suzanne Rosenberg, an old classmate from Oxford the president still has sex with. Well, President Clinton received an early Christmas present this week, an adorable Labrador puppy. And presidential historians say that it will be good for his image. According to these scholars, in comparison to a male dog, the president's sex life will seem relatively normal. A 5-year-old child writes, "Dear Mr. President, when the Republicans are finished wasting taxpayer money on their Whitewater witch hunt, perhaps they can join you in your efforts to protect Medicare and the environment and to expand the earned income tax credit. P.S. Paula Jones was asking for it." Here's one from Elizabeth A. of Long Island, who wrote, "Dear President Clinton, Newt Gingrich is a bad, bad man." Also, Paula Jones was asking for it. The Supreme Court will begin hearing arguments over whether Paula Jones' sexual harassment suit against President Clinton may proceed. Jones, who claims that while governor of Arkansas, Clinton exposed himself to her in a hotel room, says that she can accurately and precisely describe the president's genitalia. But White House spokesman scoffed, quote, "Any woman who's worked in the state of Arkansas for the last 20 years could do that." Does President Clinton have a bent penis? Well, according to a doctor who examined him last week, the president's genitals are, quote, completely 100% normal. It should be noted, however, that the doctor who examined him also has a bent penis. So, that may color his findings a little. Well, as his last stop on the trip, the president met in Buenos Aires Thursday with Argentinian President Carlos Menem. During the meeting, Clinton asked Menem to continue with economic reform and protect democratic freedoms. Menem, in turn, asked Clinton to show him his bent penis. Tomorrow, Chinese President Jiang Zemin begins a week-long visit that could define U.S. relations with China for years to come. President Clinton plans to ask Jiang for several things, including human rights reform, trade expansion, and a Chinese herb said to have the power to straighten a bent penis. This week, an angry President Clinton demanded that Congress stop dragging its feet on something he has long championed, a medical Bill of Rights for U.S. citizens. In all, there are 10 items in the President's Bill of Rights, running from number 1, a rich, satisfying sex life is the foundation of good health, to number 10, a straight penis is not a privilege, it is a right. Mysterious Indonesian accused of illegally raising millions for the Democratic Party. Earlier this week, Secret Service logs showed that Mr. Wong had visited the Clinton White House more than 60 times. But on Friday, administration spokesman revealed that there are actually 2 John Wongs. Furthermore, they stressed that the John Wong who visited the White House is a different man. He isn't the fundraiser. He's the guy who killed Vince Foster. On Capitol Hill this week, 17 Republican congressmen formally asked the House Judiciary Committee whether there is sufficient evidence to begin impeachment proceedings against President Clinton. In response, the president said, quote, "Hey, you know who would have the answer to that question? Vince Foster." This weekend, veteran news anchorman David Brinkley apologized to Bill Clinton for an election night commentary in which he called the president, quote, "boring and uncreative." Admitted Brinkley, "There was certainly nothing uncreative about the way you moved Vince Foster's body." The president's a murderer. You didn't know that?
We all love Norm, and this OJ situation on Update, that people have asked me, was Norm leaving, was it a direct result? Because I think you were writing for Update with him, right?
He was kind of the producer and co-writer with Norm.
Yeah, you guys were like locked in a room doing it. That was all you guys.
Norm on Update was one of my successful projects at the show. Was one that it was entirely he was my candidate in a very crowded field, because the network had determined that they were not going to give Kevin another chance. I personally thought Kevin Nealon had been doing Update from the time Dennis left. And I personally, Neil Nisi Bonham about, the dead, but Herb Sargent was not doing Kevin any favors the way he was running Update. And it was hard to sort of to get help to Kevin, because,
it had to go through Herb.
It had to go through Herb, and Herb was sort of like ran interference and wouldn't notes get through and everything. So
he didn't love my Update pieces either.
I felt like the second week I met Norm that he would be a perfect guy if Kevin, left the show or anything. And so when the network announced, it was Ohlmeyer going, no, Nealon's out. He's dead. He's gone. Forget about it. Not happening. So that started this thing where there were several different candidates, but Norm was my guy. And it's sort of, he wasn't initially the favorite, but he sort of survived. And so as far as the OJ stuff is concerned, that, if you remember, the murders by persons as yet unknown happened in June of 1994, which is when we were having this meeting out in LA, which, by the way, ended. I was summoned out for the first time to have a notes meeting with, as head writer / producer of the show. And Lauren and I were out there at the NBC headquarters, and it was Don Ohlmeyer and Rick Ludwin and Warren Littlefield. I think Bernie Brillstein was in the meeting, I'm pretty sure. And so they were, and Ohlmeyer, they were very unhappy with the show because the ratings had dropped. And I thought we were on like a sugar high the year before that, in 92, 93, from the Wayne's World movie, that sort of was bound to come down. We had the debates and stuff. And so the ratings dropped, albeit to a rating number that they would die for today.
Yeah.
But anyway, so they were giving us their notes on what they didn't like and everything. And I had gone there. My marriage was falling apart because of the time at the show and stuff. And so I was sort of feeling like, I don't know if I want to keep doing this. So my attitude was, I'm not going to do anything to save my job. I'm not going to beg or plead or agree to I'm going to just tell them what I think. And if they don't like it, it's just as 6-1 to me if I get fired or not. And in the end, that sort of backfired, because I heard later, like, Ohlmeyer was impressed by your moxie. He did, which is not the intention. But anyway, so they were talking about Update, and they just said, and Kevin had to go. I would never have I loved Kevin. I still love him.
He
was one of he was a great favorite with the writers. Yeah.
And you could have helped Kevin.
I could have. I thought if they had been willing to keep Kevin, but get rid of Herb, I think that we could have turned that thing around. But anyway, that was not the option available. So anyway, but the meeting ended only because visiting hours were starting at LA County, and Ohlmeyer had to go visit OJ.
Wow.
That's why that meeting ended finally, mercifully. And so then when the fall came, there's a whole other story with how Norm came to be the guy, but Norm is doing Update. And I told him at the beginning, I said, look, I don't mean anything, nothing about her, but attempts have been made in the past to help people doing Update, and that her blocked all efforts because he got, was threatened and territorial and everything. And so I told Norm, like, look, we're not going to fuck around. We're not going to let Herb do to you what he did to Kevin. And so you can have your Herb meeting, but you got to have a later one with me, because I'm not fucking around this time. It's too important. And Norm said, yeah, that sounds great. So what happened is, we first of all opened the piece up for the first time to lots and lots of writers. So you suddenly got a lot more writers contributing, and then we would just overrule decisions that Herb made until, and I never even had a conversation with Herb about it. It was just, and so, but so to answer your original question, the way Norm came to be fired was we just did the OJ jokes because they were funny. It wasn't, none of us had a hard on for OJ or anything, but it was.
He was in the news every
funny.
Fucking day too. Like you can't avoid it.
Yeah, and so luckily the timing couldn't have been better. The trial opened just before we went on the air. We and then the very next year, the fall of '95, the openings, the week of the first show, the verdict came back. And so, but anyway, he just every week I would hear occasionally from Lauren, and I knew it was Ohlmeyer calling him to complain, but it was Lauren would go like, how is it that you and Norm seem to be the only people absolutely convinced of OJ's guilt? And I would go like, Lauren, come on. I think it's hurting us with black audience. And I said, first of all, we have no black audience.
Small.
And second, I think it could only help us because black people know that OJ did it. Come on. And so anyway, finally, we did the first season of Update, which was 94, 95. That was the trial. The second season, 95, 96 of Norm's Update, that was the aftermath of the trial and the civil trial, right? And then we threw in the 96, 97, the third season, just for shits and grins. We continued to do it. So I'm sure we did an OJ joke, at least one OJ joke every
show,
from 94, 95, and 96. And then finally, the fall of 97, that was Norm's fourth season and the season we were fired. Fall 97.
Package deal.
There was nothing to do. There was nothing to do about OJ. It would have felt like
you feel it's overkill.
Well, no, that part
that's
we
Lauren.
liked. We liked the overkill. We always said,
of course.
In fact, I heard this quote much later, but I wish I'd known it. Joseph Stalin, someone comedy people don't normally quote, but Joseph Stalin said, "Quantity has a quality all its own."
That was like the David Hasselhoff jokes too. Yeah,
that's right. Well, we love. And let me just finish. So we opened that season, the fall 97, right? Spring 98. We didn't do any OJ jokes. We didn't do any OJ jokes for the first 8 shows.
Wow.
And then the Christmas, it was a long stretch of it was like the bombardment has stopped, and then suddenly, I think they stopped. They have stopped. It's peace in the valley. And then on the 8th show, we did 2 OJ jokes because there was the one thing about Latrell Sprewell. Remember, he was playing for the Knicks and he went nuts in a practice.
He choked the coach.
PJ Carlissimo.
Oh, choked. Yeah.
So we did a joke about Johnny, and he hired Johnny Cochran as his attorney. And so we did a joke about it, and Cochran has vowed to find the real choker. And then there was OJ. If you remember this one, OJ was in a restaurant in Brentwood, and his presence was bothering some of the other patrons. So the manager of the restaurant said, "Mr. Simpson, some of our customers have they're concerned, and we were wondering if you wouldn't mind leaving." And so OJ sued the restaurant, but got something like $300, like a free dinner or something. So we did. Our joke was, in addition, the restaurant must now set up individual or separate murderer and non-murderer sections.
I know.
And so.
Well, this week, after a Los Angeles restaurant refused to seat him, O.J. Simpson demanded and got $500 in compensation. In addition, the restaurant must now offer separate murderer and non-murderer sections.
OJ. So anyway, so we did that. That was the Saturday show.
Oh,
A couple of
boy.
days later, I'm in New Canaan visiting my little son. And the first thing I see is the sound was off on the TV and he's sitting in his high chair and he was like, 2 years old, I guess. And so he looks up at the thing and there's Chris Farley, but with the sound off, he didn't know exactly what it was. He starts laughing hysterically just at the sight of Chris Farley. And then the phone rings and it's Mike Shoemaker from the show, who's a producer at the show. And he says a couple things. Chris Farley's dead and you and Norm were fired.
Whoa.
And so apparently, and later, guess what? It was like 3 years later, Norm told me, and he had never said this to me, because if our positions were reversed, I would have said it right away. He said, they told me like, it wasn't, that they were only firing you, that I was welcome to stay. And I said, I won't do it without Downey. And so they said, okay, motherfucker, be our guest. So that's how Norm came to be fired. He went out of solidarity with me. So
Well, I think it's probably smart because you made it. You guys together were really good. It probably would have.
He would have been.
He's
fine
great,
without
but
me,
you're great, right?
So this one was a doozy. And as Josh Lacash points out, he does it exactly like a Norm Macdonald joke. 2-1. I saw Ian Miles Chong tweets out. He goes, he's not coming back from this, is he?
The thing about the red hat that drove me to a point of exhaustion, which was misdiagnosed by I'm not going to say what race, what people, doctor, and what hospital, and what media it went to. We know I can't say that. It was a Jewish doctor.
You know the Norm Macdonald joke too. I think that harkens back to. He's there with Russell Brand, and he said, "I got a story. It's about I was with a hooker, as a stripper or whatever. And I go back to her place, and she says I have a boyfriend. I said, all right, well let's not stay there. We'll go to a different place because her boyfriend is I'm not going to say what color he was, but it's a terrifying color."
And she says, let's go have sex.
Lovely. Best possible outcome.
Yeah. So I say, fine and dandy. Now, I'm living with a girl, though. So I say, well, I can't do that.
There.
So what about you? Oh, she's living with a guy.
Oh.
And it doesn't matter what color he is, but...
No, it doesn't.
No. But it was a frightening color.
Really?
He was an Indian.
Well, they're very peaceful folk. I mean, prejudicially.
Yeah, if they're not holding a tomahawk. So... Now, people always wonder if God is a man or a woman or black or white or yellow, but I'm here to tell you that none of this silly stuff matters. He's a white guy, by the way.